What's up, folks? Welcome to another live edition of Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram, coming at you here once again from the U to the Tube. So, what a weekend we have coming up for pro wrestling. We got a lot going on. We got the finals of the Stardom 5-Star Grand Prix. We have New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Autumn Attack this weekend. We have WWE Extreme Rules. I'll also go over the current standings of the G1 Climax. A lot of wrestling this weekend. But this is good. This is definitely good. And, of course, I'll cover the weekly WWE and AEW shows as well. AEW, 2 hours of Dynamite and 2 hours of Rampage. So, Grand Slam, the week of AEW Grand Slam for Dynamite and for Rampage. Very action-packed. But let's kick things off with the Stardom 5-Star Grand Prix. So the finals will actually be going on the 25th at the Oda Ward Gym, and they're going to have it as a pay-per-view. And what's really interesting is there's going to be English commentary provided by Stuart Fulton and Stardom wrestler Mina Shirakawa of Cosmic Angels. So that's pretty cool. Of course, Mina Shirakawa does speak good English, so I think this is great. I think this is great for her to get a chance to do English commentary, so that's really cool. But this will be the final day for the 5-Star Grand Prix. There's still some matches left, and then after these matches, we'll have the finals between the Red Stars and the Blue Stars. So let's go ahead and look at the standings one last time as we get ready for the finals. So, recapping, let's look back at the Red Stars. So, of course, we know Saki Kashima and Mina Shirakawa only have 4 points, so, of course, they're out. Saki Kashima, let's see, just go through the list like I normally did. So, Saki Kashima is currently 2 and 6. She's 2 and 6, and she has one more match left with Fukigen Death. She has the 2 wins over Julia and Mayu Iwatani, but she's lost to Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, Himeka, Natsupoi, Koguma, and Mina Shirakawa. For Mina Shirakawa, she is 2 and she's 2 and 6 as well. She has wins over Saki Kashima and Fukigen Death, but losses to Julia, Mayu Iwatani, Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, Himeka, and Koguma. And her final match is against Natsupoi. Of course, Julia finished with 6 points, which she only wrestled 5 matches. And she overall ended with a record of 3 and 6. So 3 and 6. She had the victories over Starlight Kid, Koguma, Mina Shirakawa, losses to Mayu Iwatani and Saki Kashima, and of course she had to forfeit against Momo Watanabe, Fukigen Death, Himeka, and Natsupoi due to injury, so she had to withdraw. Okay, Fukigen Death sits at 8 points, which she is 4 and 4, looks like. So she has wins over, she has the bye over Julia and has victories against Mayu Iwatani, Himeka, Koguma, and she has losses to Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, Natsupoi, and Mina Shirakawa. She has her final match is against Saki Kashima. Okay. Mayu Iwatani, Natsupoi, and Koguma, all three of these ladies have 9 points. So Mayu Iwatani, she is 4-3-1 with victories over Mina Shirakawa, Natsupoi, Himeka, Julia, and losses to Momo Watanabe, Fukigen Death, and Saki Kashima, and a draw with Koguma. Her final match will be against Starlight Kid. Natsupoi. She is, she is 4-3-1 with victories. She has the bye over Julia and victories over Momo Watanabe, Fukigen Death, Saki Kashima. Losses to Mayu Iwatani, Himeka, and Koguma, and a draw with Starlight Kid. Her final match is against Mina Shirakawa. And then Koguma is 4-3-1 with victories over Mina Shirakawa, Natsupoi, Starlight Kid, and Saki Kashima. Losses to Fukigen Death, Momo Watanabe, and Julia, and a draw with Mayu Iwatani. And her final match will be against Himeka. We have Himeka at third place of the Red Stars with 10 points. Himeka is 5-3. She's 5-3. So she has the victory, the bye over Julia, and she has victories over Momo Watanabe, Saki Kashima, Natsupoi, and Mina Shirakawa, but losses to Mayu Iwatani, Fukigen Death, and Starlight Kid. Her final match is against Koguma. All right. Starlight Kid sitting with 11 points at second place. Starlight Kid is 5-2-1. So Starlight Kid has victories over Momo Watanabe, Fukigen Death, Saki Kashima, Himeka, and Mina Shirakawa. Losses to Julia and Koguma, and a draw with Natsupoi. And of course, her final match is against Mayu Iwatani. All right. And then sitting at the top of the Red Stars with 12 points is Momo Watanabe. And like I said, she has finished all of her matches. She finished with a 6-3 record. So she has the bye win over Julia and wins against Mayu Iwatani, Fukigen Death, Saki Kashima, Koguma, and Mina Shirakawa, but has lost to Starlight Kid, Himeka, and Natsupoi. Okay, looking at the Red Stars, a couple of scenarios here. So we know Saki Kashima, Mina Shirakawa, Julia, they're out. Fukigen Death, she's out. Mayu Iwatani is out. Natsupoi is out. Koguma is out. Himeka, she has 10 points. If Himeka can beat Koguma, then she'll have the tiebreaker over Momo Watanabe. But here's the thing. If Starlight Kid wins, then she advances to the finals for the Red Stars. So, and Momo Watanabe, she has to hope that Starlight Kid and Himeka lose. So Starlight Kid, it's pretty much on her. Starlight Kid wins, she'll have 13 points. By default, she'll advance to the finals for the Red Stars. Himeka would have to beat Koguma, and she would have to hope that Starlight Kid loses to Mayu Iwatani. And then, because she has the tiebreaker over Momo Watanabe, because she beat Momo Watanabe, she would advance to the finals for the Red Stars. And then the only way that Momo Watanabe could advance to the finals, she has to hope that Starlight Kid and Himeka lose their matches, which Himeka has to face Koguma. Starlight Kid has to face Mayu Iwatani. So really, Starlight Kid is in the best position. All she has to do is beat Mayu, which won't be easy. Won't be easy. Now, here's the thing. If Mayu and Starlight Kid come to a draw, that would mean So if they come to a draw, and if Himeka, well, even if Himeka won, she would then own the. No, if Himeka won and Starlight Kid had a draw, Starlight Kid would still win because Starlight Kid has victories over both Momo Watanabe and Himeka. So very, very interesting. So Starlight Kid, all she has to do is either win or tie, and Starlight Kid is in. Himeka has to win and hope that Starlight Kid loses. And then Momo Watanabe has to hope that both Starlight Kid and Himeka lose. Because a draw won't do it. A draw won't do it. So it's going to come down between Himeka, Starlight Kid, and Momo Watanabe. Honestly, I feel like Starlight Kid has the best chance, being that all she has to do is win or draw. So I'm going to say it's probably going to be Starlight Kid in the finals. She's been on a roll. I think it's probably going to be Starlight Kid in the finals. But I wouldn't be mad if it was Momo or Himeka. But I feel like Starlight Kid has the best shot. Mayu won't be easy, but all she has to do is survive or win the match. Okay, let's look at the Blue Stars. Okay, Blue Stars. Ruka, 0 points. I can tell you right now, she is winless. Yeah, she's winless. So we have Ruka's 0-8. She's 0-8. She's lost to Utami Hayashishita, Shuri, Tam Nakano, Saya Kamitani, Maika, Azumi, Konami, Takumi Aroha. The only match she has left is against Unagi Sayaka, and I highly, highly doubt that she's gonna win that. Or actually, no, she still has to face Azumi. Okay, I think I got that wrong. So flip-flop. She has to face Azumi. Okay. But, of course, you know she's out. Azumi, she has 6 points. She is 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 3 and wait. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 and 5. So victories over Shuri, Konami, Takumi Aroha, which is crazy. Those are 3 big wins. Those are legit 3 big wins. But lost to Unagi Sayaka, Maika, Saya Kamitani, Tam Nakano, and Utami Hayashishita. But it's just really unfortunate, because those wins she got, those are some big wins. But she still has her final match against Ruka. Alrighty. Unagi Sayaka has 7 points. Unagi Sayaka is, let's see, 1, 2, 3. 3-4-1. So she has victories over Ruoka, Azumi, and Tam Nakano. Losses to Utami Hayashishita, Shuri, Konami, and Takumi Aroha, and a draw with Himeka. And her final match will be against Saya Kamitani. But yeah. And Himeka also has 7 points as well. She is 3-4-1. Victories over Utami Hayashishita, Azumi, and Ruoka. Losses to Shuri, Tam Nakano, Saya Kamitani, and Takumi Aroha, and a draw with Unagi Sayaka. And her final match will be against Konami, which that should be really good. That actually should be really good. Okay, so both Himeka and Unagi Sayaka have 7 points. Tam Nakano sits at 8 points. She is 4-4. So victories over Himeka, Azumi, Konami, and Ruoka. Losses to Shuri, Saya Kamitani, Takumi Aroha, and Unagi Sayaka. And Tam Nakano's final match will be against Utami Hayashishita. Okay, we have a 3-way tie with 10 points. Utami Hayashishita, Takumi Aroha, and Konami. Okay, so for Utami, she is 4-2-2. So victories over Saya Kamitani, Azumi, Ruoka, and Unagi Sayaka. Losses to Konami and Himeka, and 2 draws with Shuri and Takumi Aroha. And her final match is against Tam Nakano. Man, 2 draws against Shuri and Takumi Aroha. That's crazy. Takumi Aroha, her 10 points. Let's see. She is 4. She's 4-2-2. So victories over Tam Nakano, Himeka, Ruoka, and Unagi Sayaka. Losses to Azumi and Konami, and 2 draws with Saya Kamitani and Utami Hayashishita. And her final match will be against Shuri. Okay, let's see. Konami, who also has 10 points. She is 5. She's 5-3. 5-3. Victories over Utami Hayashishita, Shuri, Ruoka, Unagi Sayaka, and Takumi Aroha. Those are some big victories. But she's lost to Saya Kamitani, Azumi, and Tam Nakano. And her final match will be against Himeka. That should be a really good match. And then we have a 2-way tie at the top of the Blue Stars with 11 points, both Shuri and Saya Kamitani. So Shuri, she is 5-2-1 with victories over Tam Nakano, Saya Kamitani, Himeka, Ruoka, and Unagi Sayaka. Losses to Konami and Azumi, and a draw with Utami Hayashishita. Her final match is against Takumi Aroha, which should be a banger. And then Saya Kamitani's 11 points. She is 5-2-1. So she has victories over Tam Nakano, Himeka, Azumi, Konami, and Ruoka. Losses to Utami Hayashishita and Shuri, and a draw with Takumi Aroha. Her final match is against Unagi Sayaka. Okay, let's look at the Blue Stars scenarios. So we know that Ruoka's out, which she's probably going to go winless. Azumi's out, Unagi Sayaka's out, Himeka's out, Tam Nakano's out. Okay. Utami Hayashishita. So she faces Tam Nakano. If she wins, she'll have 12 points. Same thing with Takumi Aroha. If she wins, she gets 12 points. Same thing with Konami. Okay. Here's the thing. Let's say that all three of those ladies got their victories. So if all three of those ladies got their victories, Utami Hayashishita, Takumi Aroha, and Konami, let's see. If Utami got her wins, that would put her at five. No, that would put her at 6, 2, and 2. So 6, 2, and 2. If she gets this. Oh wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this would put her at 5, 2, and 2. I'm sorry. 5, 2, and 2. Because I forgot she's lost 2 matches and had 2 draws. Okay. Now, if Konami won her match, that would put her at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 and 2. No, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, this will put her at 6 and 3. 6 and 3. I'm sorry. 6 and 3. Okay. And now if Takumi Aroha won, this would put her at five, 2, and 2. So if that's the case, 5, 2, and 2, then I believe wouldn't Konami win that? I think Konami would win that. If all three of those ladies got their victories. Wait, who does Saya Kamatani have to face? Unagi Sayaka. So Saya Kamatani, if she wins her match, that would make her which she would have 13 points. And Shuri can still get 13 points if she beats Takumi Aroha. But I think if Konami, let's see. Konami versus Utami and Takumi Aroha. Actually, Konami would have the advantage. If Konami, Takumi Aroha, and Utami Hayashishita all won their matches, technically Konami would have the advantage because she has victories over Takumi Aroha and Utami Hayashishita. So, yeah, Konami would actually have the advantage. And then Shuri and Saya Kamatani. If Shuri and Saya Kamatani wins, then Shuri would have the advantage since she's beaten Saya Kamatani. So in order for Utami Hayashishita to make it to the finals, she would need to win Yeah, she would need to win or draw, and she would need Takumi Iroha, Konami, and she would need to win or draw, and everybody else would have to lose, like Saya Kamitani, Takumi Iroha, Konami, Shuri. They would all have to lose. But the thing is, Shuri and Takumi Iroha still have to face each other. So, and one of them is gonna, yeah. Utami pretty much would need to win. She would need to win her match, and everybody else would need to lose. That's really her best chance. Takumi Iroha, same thing. She would need to win, and everybody else would have to lose. She can't draw with Shuri because that would give Shuri 12 points. Konami, same thing. She would need to. Actually, there's two chances with Konami. She would need Saya Kamitani and Shuri to lose. And then even if Utami Hayashishita and Takumi Iroha won their matches, Konami would have the tiebreaker. So she would still go on to win that. Now, if Konami ties, well, no. Even if she were to get a tie, actually, no, she would need to win. She would need to win. And everybody else would need to lose. But even if Takumi Iroha and Utami Hayashishita won, if Shuri and Saya Kamitani lost, then Konami would make it to the finals. Shuri, all she pretty much has to do is win, and she's in because she can get 13 points. Saya Kamitani, she would need to win and would need Shuri to lose because even if both Shuri and Saya Kamitani win, Shuri has the tiebreaker. So it looks like Shuri really has the best chance, but she's got to beat Takumi Iroha. If Shuri wins her match, she pretty much makes it to the finals for the Blue Stars. But if she loses and Saya Kamitani wins, then Saya Kamitani would make it to the finals. Which, I mean, a matchup like Saya Kamitani versus Starlight Kid in the finals, that wouldn't be a bad matchup. That would not be a bad matchup at all. Shuri versus Starlight Kid, that would be an interesting matchup. Momo versus Shuri would, oh man, that would actually be a really good matchup as well. Himeka versus Shuri, I feel kind of iffy about that. Or we could get Konami versus Starlight Kid or Momo Watanabe. Saya Kamitani versus Starlight Kid would be really cool. Versus Momo Watanabe, that would be cool as well. So if you were to ask me what matchup would I love to see in the finals, I would be kind of interested to see Starlight Kid versus Shuri. You know, now that Starlight Kid is with Oedo Tai and going up against Shuri, I would love to see that matchup. I really would. Clash of different styles there. I think I would love to see that. Or Momo Watanabe versus Shuri would be cool. But we'll see what happens. And then also on this event, we're going to see Mai Sakurai versus Waka Tsukiyama. So between those two, somebody is going to get their first win. At least I hope. If it went to a draw, that would suck. That would royally, royally suck. That would royally suck. And also, I have to give a big, big shout out to Lady C. Lady C, ladies and gentlemen, finally got her first victory in Stardom by making Waka Tsukiyama tap out. It was kind of like a backbreaker Cobra clutch sort of submission. It was really cool. It was actually really cool. But yeah, made Waka Tsukiyama tap out. Lady C gets her first victory in Stardom, and it was a solo match. It was a singles match. Gotta give it up for Lady C. It was eventually going to happen, and this is probably the best way that it could happen. So congratulations to Lady C on getting her first victory, and hopefully she'll get more along the way. Probably might take a while before she gets her next victory, but hey, you never know. You never know. But congratulations to Lady C. But yeah, this Saturday is the finals. Definitely looking forward to this, to see who comes out winning the 5-star Grand Prix. And of course, they will get a chance to challenge for the the World of Stardom Championship. Actually, they can challenge for any title, actually. Because there have been challenges for the World of Stardom Championship, Wonder of Stardom Championship, and even the Goddess of Stardom Championship. But I would hope the winner would go for the World of Stardom Championship. We need to give Utami Hayashishita another challenge. But anyway, that is it for Stardom. Let's look at the G1 Climax current standings for that. So G1 Climax. So starting off with Block A, unfortunately, Tetsuya Naito finishes with 0 points, and he had to withdraw from this tournament due to a knee injury that he suffered in his match with Zack Sabre Jr. So he had to withdraw. So because he withdrew, everybody in the A block will get a forfeit, so a free 2 points, which, of course, Zack Sabre Jr. beat him, had a match and beat him, made him tap out. Let's see. Tangaloa and Tomohiro Ishii both have 2 points. Tangaloa, of course, the only 2 points he got was from the Naito forfeit, and he's lost to the Great Okarn. Tomohiro Ishii, the only points he has is the forfeit from Naito, and he's lost to Kota Ibushi and Shingo Takagi. So Toru Yano, Yujiro Takahashi, Shingo Takagi, Zack Sabre Jr., Kenta, and Kota Ibushi all have 4 points. So Toru Yano, he's 2-1. So victories over Naito, the forfeit, Kenta, and the loss to the Great Okarn. We have Yujiro Takahashi, which, of course, he is 2-1, which he has the forfeit victory over Naito. He beat Kota Ibushi. That was crazy surprising, but lost to Kenta. All right, Shingo Takagi, he is 2-1. He has the forfeit victory over Naito, the victory over Tomohiro Ishii, and he lost to Zack Sabre Jr. Wow. Did not see that one coming. And speaking of which, Zack Sabre Jr., he's 2-0. He has victories over Tetsuya Naito and Shingo Takagi. has victories over the both of them. Made them both tap out. Kenta is currently 2-1. He has the forfeit victory over Naito. He has a victory over Yujiro Takahashi, but he lost to Toru Yano. Alrighty. Kota Ibushi. He is 2-1. 2-1. So he has the forfeit victory over Naito, the victory over Tomohiro Ishii, but lost to Yujiro Takahashi, which was crazy. And then we have sitting at the top, first place with 6 points, is the Great O-Khan. The Great O-Khan off to a great start with a 3-0. It's got the forfeit victory over Naito and the 2 victories over Tangaloa and Toru Yano. So Great O-Khan off to a great start, leading at the top of the A block. Okay, let's looking at the B block. So B block. So Hiroki Goto, Chase Owens, Yoshihashi currently have 0 points. So Yoshihashi is 0-2 right now with losses to Jeff Cobb and Evil. Chase Owens is also 0-2 with losses to Tama Tonga and Jeff Cobb. Hiroki Goto, pains me to say this, but he is 0-2 as well, which is garbage. Losses to Taichi and Hiroshi Tanahashi. We have a 4-way tie. Tama Tonga, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Sonata, and Evil all have 2 points. So Tama Tonga, he is 1-1. Victory over Chase Owens, but a loss to Sonata. Hiroshi Tanahashi, also 1-1. He's beaten Hiroki Goto, but has lost to Kazuchika Okada. Sonata is also 1-1. He has a victory over Tama Tonga, but he lost to Taichi. And then Evil, he is 1-1. He has a victory over Yoshihashi, but he lost to Kazuchika Okada. All right, and there's a 3-way tie at the top with 4 points are Jeff Cobb, Kazuchika Okada, and Taichi. So Taichi is 2-0 right now with victories over Sonata and Hiroki Goto. You have Kazuchika Okada, who is 2-0 as well with victories over Evil and Hiroshi Tanahashi. And we have Jeff Cobb off to a strong start. He is 2-0 with victories over Yoshihashi and Chase Owens, which, I mean, were kind of easy ones. No offense. But yeah, so the blocks are starting off pretty interesting, but it's unfortunate that Tetsuya Naito suffered the knee injury and had to withdraw from this tournament. The G1 Climax continues on Sunday, September 26th, when they'll have some more matches. And they'll have matches September 26th, the 29th, and the 30th to close out this month. And then next Friday, the 1st of October, they'll have matches. So still a lot to look forward to in the G1 Climax. They just got started. So, of course, the winner of this tournament will challenge for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom to whoever the champion will be at that time, which I'm sure will probably still be Shingo Takagi. Okay. So let's take a look at the cards for new NJPW Strong Autumn Attack, because that's also this weekend, both days, Saturday and Sunday. Let's look at the lineup here. So for Saturday, So we got a tag team match. Ryusuke Taguchi and Rocky Romero going up against the West Coast. Oh my goodness, I already forgot the West Coast Wrecking Crew, I believe. Royce Isaacs of Jarrell Nelson. This should be good. This actually should be really good. Ryusuke Taguchi and Rocky Romero have been having some chemistry as a tag team, so we'll see what happens. But I don't think they'll beat the West Coast Wrecking Crew, but we'll see. I'm picking the West Coast Wrecking Crew. We got a match between Filthy Tom Lawler and Ren Narita. Oh, jeez. I mean, I don't see this going any way other than Tom Lawler getting the victory. We got an 8-man tag. We got Bullet Club's Taiji Ishimori, El Phantasmo, Chris Bay, and Hikuleo. That's right. Chris Bay is Bullet Club. Going up against Juice Robinson, Lio Rush, Clark Connors, and TJP. Interesting squad here. Very interesting squad. Yeah. But who knows? The good guys might win this match. I don't think so, but they might win this match. But I got to go Bullet Club. We got Carl Fredericks versus Will Osprey. That'll be a nice test for Carl Fredericks, but he ain't beating Will Osprey. I just don't see that. We got Fred Rosser versus Minoru Suzuki. Ooh. Fred Rosser, he's probably going to get his face kicked in, or he'll be put to sleep. I'm going Minoru Suzuki. And then, we also have Jay White versus Robbie Eagles. This is a big test for Robbie Eagles. Very big test. Do I think he'll pass it? I don't know. I doubt it, but I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure, even though he's the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, I'm pretty sure Jay White is going to get this victory. I'd be a little shocked if Robbie Eagles won. Nothing against him, but it's kind of a tough match for him. But that's the first night. Second night, which is interesting. We got a no time limit Texas bull rope match between Hikuleo and Juice Robinson. I'm going Juice Robinson. We have a tag team of Bullet Club's El Phantasmo and Chris Bay going up against Chris Dickinson and Robbie Eagles. That is an interesting tag team. Robbie Eagles, Chris Dickinson. I don't think that's going to work out. I'm going Bullet Club. Yu Uemura versus TJP. Gotta go TJP. We have Carl Fredericks and Clark Connors versus Will Ospreay and I guess a partner of his choosing, which I'm going to keep an open mind. But I'm pretty sure Will Ospreay and his team is going to get this victory for sure. Ooh, now this should be a really good and interesting match. We got a singles match, Jay White versus Red Death Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia could pull off an upset. Not saying it's going to happen, but it would not surprise me if he pulled off an upset and beat Switchblade Jay White. It would not surprise me one bit. We have a singles match, Lio Rush versus Taiji Ishimori. Now this could be a sleeper to be match of the night. Taiji Ishimori, Bone Soldier versus the man of the hour, Lio Rush. This could really be a banger of a match. I'm actually looking really forward to that match. Then we got a tag team match. Filthy Tom Lawler and Royce Isaacs going up against Suzuki Guns, Lance Archer, and Minoru Suzuki. This actually should be a good match as well. It'll be interesting to see how Filthy Tom Lawler squares up with the King Minoru Suzuki. Like, this should be really good. This should be really good. I'm actually really feeling night 2 a lot more than night 1, to be honest with you, for this Autumn Attack event. But, it should be good. Should be good. So, looking forward to that. And that's Saturday and Sunday. So, hopefully we'll get around to watching that, because there's a lot of pro wrestling this weekend. Whole lot. Okay, let's go ahead and look at AEW. So we had AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. We had quite a week, and this episode started off with the big dream match of Kenny Omega versus the American Dragon Bryan Danielson. That's the match they opened up with, and it did not disappoint. These two went at it like crazy. We saw kicks. We saw numerous chops. I mean, these two greats lit each other up. I mean, it was crazy. We saw kicks, chops, V-triggers. Saw the cattle mutilation, a submission I haven't seen Bryan Danielson do in forever. The last time I even saw that submission, Shotzi Blackheart was using it in NXT. But I mean, just wow. And Bryan Danielson's chest was like super beat red by the end of this match. But wow. I mean, it was a crazy match. It was definitely a crazy match. But I mean, it was very much to be expected. And fortunately, time ran out, and this ended up being a time limit draw. The match was only a 30-minute time limit, but ended up being a time limit draw, which, you know what? It's a good move. It's a good call. These two meeting like this to open up, I think it's a good call that it ended in a draw. But I do hope at some point these two will go at it again with the AEW World Championship on the line. That's got to happen at some point. We got to see this match again and break the tie. And then, of course, afterwards, the Elite came out. Adam Cole was there with the Young Bucks, and they super kick and attack Bryan Danielson. And then Christian Cage and Jurassic Express came out for the save. But wow, that was one heck of a way to open up Dynamite Grand Slam. And then, of course, CM Punk came out and got on the mic and talked about his match for Rampage Grand Slam. He has a one-on-one match with Powerhouse Hobbs, and talked some smack. Said that he was going to put him to sleep, going to put Will Hobbs to sleep. And when he put him through that table, he didn't finish the job. Well, he definitely didn't finish the job because the table didn't even break. So yeah. Finish the job. You got to finish the job. The table's got to break. That's the impact that's necessary. So we had MJF versus Brian Pillman Jr., which MJF had Wardlow, and Brian Pillman Jr. had cheerleader, Julia Hart. I mean, what can I say? Brian Pillman Jr. gave it a great effort. Gave it a really great effort. Even MJF did like the dirty tactics, used Julia Hart as a human shield, and just, yeah. But Brian Pillman Jr. was on the offense, but MJF was able to counter into the salt of the earth Fujiwara armbar and was able to make Mr. Pillman Jr. tap out. So gave it a great effort, but we all knew Brian Pillman Jr. wasn't winning this match. I mean, you got to keep one of the big heels strong, and MJF is nothing short of that. And then had a backstage moment with Chris Jericho and Jake Hager as they are preparing to face the Men of the Year, Scorpio Sky and All Ego Ethan Page for Rampage Grand Slam. And then we had, oh man, this was quite a interesting match. We had the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, making his return to face Malachi Black. And of course, he had Brandy Rhodes, his wife, and the enforcer Arn Anderson in his corner. And Cody was getting booed like crazy throughout this match. I mean, I don't think I heard a single cheer for Cody Rhodes in this match. That's how bad it was. Like, no, I didn't even hear a single cheer. He was getting booed out of the building. It's crazy. It's really crazy. But, I mean, these two went back and forth. I mean, it was a great match. These two went back and forth. There was even a time where Malachi Black did the springboard fake out backflip into the Indian style seated position. And then Brandy Rhodes even got in the ring, got into that same seated position like Malachi Black and gave him the double finger salute. I was just like, woman, you have a death wish. But it was actually quite hilarious. It was quite hilarious. But oh my goodness, that was funny. That was a funny segment with Brandy Rhodes. And there was even a point where Arn Anderson, like, I don't know if it was a botch and he just fell off the side of the ring or off the steps, but looked like he just lost his footing and just fell down. But Malachi Black was able to get the victory with the help of mist. So he used black mist in order to roll him up for the victory. But yeah, blinded Cody Rhodes, rolled him up for the victory. And Malachi Black still undefeated. And once again, second victory against Cody Rhodes. And the crowd was loving it. So, yeah, Malachi Black still on a roll. We had FTR versus Sting and Darby Allin, which this was a good match. You know, Sting is still showing that he can still go. Even in his 60s, he can still go. You can take them bumps. You can do them stinger splashes. He can hang. He can definitely hang. And even for the most part, when FTR had the advantage, and then, of course, Tully Blanchard had to try to get that towel to see if he could wipe all the face paint off, which I happened to notice that one side of Sting's face had some red on the face paint, and then Darby Allin's other side had red as well. So I like how in sync they were. So it was really, really cool. But it was back and forth. But Sting, using his veteran instincts and intelligence, was able to avoid running a stinger splash into a chair propped in the turnbuckle in the corner, and was able to Dax ran at him. He got out the way and smashed Dax Hardwood into the chair. And then As Sting locked Dax Harwood into the Scorpion Deathlock, Cash Wheeler was about to get involved, but Darby Allin shows up, hits a coffin drop on Cash Wheeler on the apron to stop him from interfering, and Sting gets the tap out on Dax Harwood. Darby and Sting get the victory. But man, that was a pretty sick coffin drop. Whew, it's a good thing that he took that bump, because if he would have moved out the way, that's the end of Darby Allin's back. I'm just keeping it real. And then we had the main event. So the main event, the ladies were showcased in this main event. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, the AEW Women's World Champion, defended her title against Ruby Soho. Now, of course, remember, Ruby Soho earned this opportunity winning the Casino Battle Royal at AEW All Out. So this was her opportunity to cash in, and she gets her title shot. And, this was Ruby Soho's, this was only her third or so match, or something like that, third or maybe fourth match. I think it's third. But, Ruby Soho's been getting the action more and more. And just like that, she has a title shot. And of course, Rebel and Jamie Hayter didn't make things easy for Ruby Soho, which was expected. But I mean, Ruby Soho was bringing it. She was kicking out of a whole lot of stuff and just looked strong. Looked really, really strong. And just when Ruby Soho hit the no future, formerly the riot kick, of course, that's when Jamie Hayter and Rebel were trying to interfere. But Britt Baker was able to use the distraction to her advantage and was able to get Ruby Soho into the lockjaw submission. And unfortunately, Ruby Soho had no choice but to tap out. But, I mean, Britt Baker was just throwing everything at Ruby Soho. Like the curb stomp, the air raid crash, the avalanche air raid crash. I mean, she was throwing everything at her, and just Ruby Soho just kept kicking out. But I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of mixed feelings about this. I mean, do you feel like Ruby Soho got the title shot too quick? I mean, she hasn't had that many matches leading up to this, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, she still looks strong in defeat, but it's like, dang, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it, but it was still a great main event. So Dynamite definitely was awesome. Really enjoyed Dynamite. Okay, let's look at Rampage. Rampage Grand Slam. So, first off, we opened up with CM Punk versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Of course, he was accompanied by Hook. Now, of course, there had to be a lot of distractions, especially there from Hook. There was even a moment where CM Punk even flipped off Hook. But, it was back and forth. Powerhouse Hobbs definitely looked good in this match, showing off his power and, just the opportunity to face CM Punk. I mean, it was good. It was definitely good. This looked good for him. And even despite all the distractions and everything, CM Punk was able to overcome and put Powerhouse Hobbs to sleep. Although his first attempt, I did like that spine buster counter from Powerhouse Hobbs. That was amazing, just swift counter of that GTS. But second time was the charm. CM Punk puts him to sleep, gets the victory. CM Punk is still undefeated. So big win over Powerhouse Hobbs. But yeah, great match. And that's a notch down from Team Taz and a big one as well. So congratulations to CM Punk. And then we had the Elite, the Super Click. Adam Cole and the Young Bucks went up against Christian Cage and Jurassic Express. And I have to say, like, I've had the chance to see Adam Cole and the Young Bucks compete as a trios back in ROH. I was there at the Best in the World pay-per-view when they came to Concord, North Carolina, and they took on Moose and War Machine. Of course, they're the Viking Raiders in WWE, but that was an excellent trios match, like bar none. Great match for that pay-per-view. So Adam Cole and the Young Bucks are definitely no less of that in this match. But got to give it up to Jurassic Express. You know, them and Christian have a lot of chemistry, and this was a banger of a trios match. And it was just great to see Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, the Super Click. It was good to see them back in action again. And this match did not disappoint. And the Bucks and Adam Cole were able to get this victory. We saw a low blow to Christian on the outside, and then he just got dumped off the ramp. And then, I mean, it was pretty much it. With Adam Cole hitting the Panama Sunrise on Luchasaurus, the Young Bucks with a BTE trigger. Just, I mean, they wrecked. That last segment, they wrecked Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Christian. They even had a moment during the match where the Young Bucks did the double kiss on Adam Cole. So, but yeah, like, it was just crazy. They looked great, and I'm so glad to see the Super Click back together. But great trios match. Loved it. We had the Men of the Year go up against Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. Now, like I said, I don't like Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky as a tag team. I really think they'd be better as singles. But I mean, while this was a decent match, and you know, Jericho did his thing, but of course Dan Lambert was involved, and he had, you know, his MMA cronies with him after this match, but they were able to get the best of Jericho and Jake Hager, and was able to get the roll-up victory. It was Jake Hager that got pinned. And then afterwards, Jake Hager and Chris Jericho, they were trying to get to Dan Lambert and attack him, but of course the numbers were too much, as all those MMA fighters, I mean, you saw Jorge Masvidal, you saw Tito Ortiz, Andre Arlovsky, Paige Van Zandt, like, and then my whole thing, where was the Inner Circle? Like, is the Inner Circle not a thing anymore? No Proud and Powerful, no Sammy Guevara, nobody came out to help. You know, I mean, the numbers advantage was crazy. But my whole thing is, like, what's up? Is the Inner Circle no more? And I know a lot of people, like my friends, folks on Twitter, were talking about this. It's like, okay, so are the Inner Circle not a thing anymore? Like, I don't know what the deal was with that, but yeah. We had a great 8-man tag match. We had the Lucha Bros and Santana Ortiz, Proud and Powerful, going up against Private Party and the Butcher and the Blade. I actually really enjoyed this match, and wow, to see the Lucha Bros and Proud and Powerful teamed up and high flying. I mean, we saw a lot of high flying, just like so much. It was such a great 8-man tag. And I mean, just wow, it was incredible. And even Orange Cassidy came in to kind of help even the odds because Jack Evans was going to get involved, but got laid out by Orange Cassidy with an orange punch. So that was cool how they were able to even the odds. But yeah, this was a lot of high flying, just back and forth. Private Party, also great high flyers as well. So I was enjoying this. Loving it, loving it, loving it. But Lucha Bros, Santana and Ortiz were able to get the victory. And then afterwards, there's an interview involving Jack Evans and Matt Hardy, which Matt Hardy challenges Orange Cassidy to a hair versus hair match. But instead of him competing, he throws Jack Evans into the fire. Like, really? Matt Hardy being a coward about it? Just, Well, then again, he did lose the money match to Adam Page, so I don't know. He's probably not trying to set himself up again. Hey, Jaleel Brown, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. And then we had a segment with Sammy Guevara and Fuego del Sol coming out. Was going to do the cue cards. Sometimes during some of the picture-in-picture breaks and such, they'll sometimes have Sammy Guevara come out with the different cue cards that says all bunch of stuff during the break. But they both ended up getting attacked by Miro. So Miro, the TNT champion, he wasn't messing around. He decided to come in and just bust both of them up. I'm doing good. Can't complain. Just doing a pro wrestling talk. Getting everything out of the way. Big weekend of pro wrestling. So, yeah, good to see you. Did you... Oh, also, be on the lookout. I'm also do another video going over the injuries and just... an update on Christian McCaffrey and JC Horn. So be on the lookout for that video. I am going to do that. So be on the lookout for that. So what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Sammy Guevara, Fuego del Sol get destroyed by Miro, which Miro will be defending the TNT title on the next Dynamite against Sammy Guevara. So that should be really, really good. Andrade El Idolo is going to challenge Pac again. So the rematch of that should be really good. Should be really good. Looking forward to that. We also had Penelope Ford versus Anna Jay. I was really bummed that Ty Conti didn't accompany Anna Jay. But yet, of course, the bunny came out, had Penelope Ford's back. And I just... I don't know why they didn't have Ty Conti there. But, with the distraction and with the bunny's help, it'll be right after this video. It'll be on after this video. I'm gonna just upload it. I'll probably not do a live stream for it, but I'll upload it right after this. Joshi God, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. It is on now. What are you talking about? Are you talking about the 5-Star Grand Prix? If so, don't spoil anything. Don't spoil anything. I'm gonna watch it. Watch the pay-per-view. I'm probably gonna watch the pay-per-view either Saturday night or Sunday, depending on when I get home from Greensboro. So no spoilers. Anyway, Penelope Ford, with the help of the bunny, was able to brass knucks, knock out Anna Jay. 1, 2, 3. Then they proceeded with the beatdown. And, of course, Ty Conti tried to come out and make the save, but the numbers are too much for Ty Conti, as Penelope Ford and the Bunny just overwhelmed Anna Jay and Ty Conti. And then the rest of the Hardy family office was going to come out and have their back, and even was able to kind of rub salt in the wounds during that time. But then Orange Cassidy, Chris Statlander, and the entire Dark Order came out and pretty much cleared house. But of course, there's still some dissension in the Dark Order. Still some dissension. Let's not sleep on that. Jaleel Brown, I was just happy about our team. Yeah, it was good to see Sam Darnold step up, make the confident throws, make the plays, and still be focused. Defense, still focused, did what they had to do, but let us not sleep on the Cowboys. They're going to be a tough team. I remember looking at Keep Pounding TV. A lot of people are not taking the Cowboys seriously, saying that they suck. And no, they're 1-1, and they almost beat the Buccaneers. I am taking them seriously. Don't sleep on Dak Prescott and those Cowboys. They got weapons. Don't sleep on them. So the main event. So we had a lights out match. Tag team, non-sanctioned. So win-loss doesn't count on the record. Suzuki Guns, Lance Archer, and the King, Minoru Suzuki, took on Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley. And thankfully, they did do the Kaze ni Nare to make sure the crowd was able to sing along. So kudos to AEW, to Tony Khan on that. Of course, this match was loaded with weapons, kendo sticks, trash cans, chairs, the works. This was a big deal. This was a big deal for Eddie Kingston because Minoru Suzuki is actually one of Eddie Kingston's idols, like a boyhood dream sort of admiration that Eddie Kingston has for Minoru Suzuki. So for him to get the opportunity to share a ring with Minoru Suzuki was a big deal, and he made the best of it in this match. I got the feeling that Bray Wyatt is going to be on AEW for the leader. Right about that, a.k.a. Dean Ambrose. Yes, Moxley is Dean Ambrose. I think you're right. I think it's a matter of time. I was thinking either Bray Wyatt or maybe Hangman Adam Page comes back and he's the force that brings the Dark Order back together on the same page. But I would not complain about Bray Wyatt being the leader. I think, him being the leader in place of Brody Lee, may he rest in heaven, I think would be great. As a matter of fact, I believe end of October is the end of Bray Wyatt's non-compete clause from WWE. So hopefully that transition should happen. Here's hoping. But yeah, this match, this was back and forth. These four men tore each other apart. There was even a segment with they duct taped Moxley's arms together, and just for a while he just couldn't do anything but take punishment. Eddie Kingston tried to fight off both Archer and Suzuki, but it wasn't really enough. But out of nowhere, I did not expect this at all, but Homicide, who of course is a good friend of Eddie Kingston, came out with the assist for Mox and Eddie Kingston, was able to get chair shots on Archer and Suzuki. He was able to get some scissors, cut the duct tape from Jon Moxley to free him so that he can help again. And thankfully, so it took putting a trash can on Lance Archer, like putting him in the trash can while lying down and just smashing that trash can with a kendo stick. I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of funny. That was kind of funny. I was just like, okay. And then afterwards, he just pins him, and that's it. But of course, Jon Moxley did get his paradigm shifts in. I like how he faked like he was still duct taped as Suzuki was going to hit that Gotch style pile driver, and then just like wham out of nowhere and just paradigm shift. Homicide was on LAX. Yes, one of the originals. Him, Hernandez. Definitely very well known tag team. One of the best compete back in Impact Wrestling. Love Homicide and Hernandez. Conan, another great. Diamante, even Proud and Powerful. All these different people at LAX. Salinas, aka Shelly Martinez. But yeah, Homicide and Hernandez, definitely an awesome tag team. Love them both. But yeah, big victory for Mox and Eddie Kingston. But yeah, big assist from Homicide. So they were the last to celebrate and end the show. But yeah, really interesting seeing Homicide, which I believe Homicide is also part of the group Violence Unlimited. If I remember correctly, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's part of Violence Unlimited. But that's AEW Rampage. That was a 2-hour Rampage. So AEW's been great this week with Dynamite Grand Slam and Rampage Grand Slam. So really, really good. And now for WWE. So Monday Night Raw was at the PNC Arena in my hometown of Raleigh, North Carolina. So I went with my good friend Tino. Shout out to Tino and the Potsy and Tino show. Love you guys. Thanks for having me on this past Monday. And I was there with my nephew and my brother as a late birthday present. I got them tickets as a late birthday present. This is actually the first live Raw that I've ever been to. I've been to a Smackdown and I've been to a couple of NXTs, but this was actually my first Raw, and I kind of regret it. I wish I could have gone to a Monday Night Raw a long time ago when it was actually good. Okay, thank you, Jaleel Brown, member of Violence Unlimited. Thank you for the confirmation. I wasn't 100% sure. Thank you for that confirmation. I gotta be honest with y'all. The crowd, for the most part, at this Raw was pretty dead. Like, the only big pop that they had was during the 6-man tag when Biggie and Roman Reigns were tagged in. That's legit the only pop of that entire Raw. Just being there live. It just... So here's what happened. The Raw opened up with the 6-man tag, the New Day versus the Bloodline. I thought that was going to be the main event. With the way it was advertised, it looked like it was going to be the main event, but no, they started this match out at the beginning of the show. And it was all right. It was an all right match. I just was kind of bummed that, of course, first off, Bobby Lashley came out and interfered. And then Roman Reigns was able to take advantage and speared Xavier Woods and was able to get the pin. So, just like that, Biggie on the losing end, just a week after winning the WWE Championship from Bobby Lashley after cashing in, loses this match. They had They had Doudrop versus Eva Marie again. I ain't gonna lie. Doudrop's theme is a little catchy. Keep pounding. Julio Brown, keep pounding. Joshi God, who is in the Stardom finals, if you don't mind me asking right quick? I haven't been able to catch up. So I'll give you a quick recap. They haven't had the finals yet. So on this pay-per-view, they're going to do the last batch of matches. And then, pretty much almost everybody has one match left. And then once they do that, then the finals is going to be the main event. They're also going to have Waka Tsukiyama versus Mai Sakurai. So the two newbies, they're going to face each other. So hopefully one of them gets the victory. But they have a last set of matches to do in the 5-Star Grand Prix, and then they'll have the finals at the end. So, do you want a score update? I can give you a score update that I have so far if you would like. Just let me know. Are you watching the draft next Friday? Yeah, I plan to. I definitely plan to. But anyway, Doudrop versus Eva Marie. Once again, not a long match. Same outcome as the last handful of times. Doudrop with the victory. But hey, got to hear her theme, her catchy theme twice. So hey, I was cool with that. But honestly, you have a world-class athlete like Doudrop, Piper Niven, or Viper having match after match after match with Eva Marie. I think it's insulting. It's so insulting. Eva Marie is trash. Why? I still to this day won't get it. You let go of folks like Ruby Riott. You let go of folks like Mickie James, Mercedes Martinez. But you keep Eva Marie. I don't freaking get that. So, Joshi God. So in the lead for the Red Stars is Momo Watanabe with 12 points, but she's completed all her matches, but she's at the lead with 12 points. It's really going to come down to see what happens with the rest of the matches in the red block, but she is in the lead with 12 points. On the Blue Stars, there's a tie at the top with 11 points between Shuri and Saya Kamitani. So Shuri and Saya Kamitani on the Blue Stars both have 11 points. Momo Watanabe is at the top of the Red Stars with 12 points. Let's see. We had Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. AJ Styles loses to Randy Orton. Is it me or is not Randy Orton. AJ Styles lost so many matches, especially singles matches. Even outside of him being tag champs with Omos, I feel like he's lost so many singles matches. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. How much AJ Styles has lost lately. It's so, oh my God. Jaleel Brown says, if I was general manager on Raw, I got a good match that never seen before. My dream match is the Bloodline versus the Hurt Business. That would be excellent. Who would I pick? Ooh. Oh my God, that's tough. That's tough. Lashley, Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, and the Usos. Oh, man, that's tough. That's tough. Oh, you're killing me. That's tough. Bro, that's tough. That could go either way. Okay, let me ask you this. Is there a time limit or no time limit? Let me ask that first. Is there a time limit or no time limit? I'm going to throw a wrench in the system. Now, the highlight of the night for me, honestly, was Shayna Baszler versus Nia Jax. And with what happened, this finally sealed the deal, and this team can finally be broken up, hopefully for good. Shayna Baszler defeated Nia Jax, put her to sleep, put her in the Kirifuda clutch, which thankfully, and Shayna Baszler is another one. She does not have a lot of victories, especially on Raw. She doesn't have a lot of victories, especially singles victories. Shayna has kind of been like on a losing streak almost, or at least a terrible record lately. And she gets pinned a lot. Julia Brown said, oh, no time limit? Oh, geez, dude. No time limit. Jeez. Okay, you know what? I would go with the Hurt Business because Cedric Alexander's on that team and he's from North Carolina. I'm from North Carolina. There. The Hurt Business. I gotta support my North Carolinian wrestlers. But not only did Shayna Baszler defeat Nia Jax, but I mean, she tore her up. And she ended up stomping on Nia Jax's arm a couple of times, including on the steel steps, and made Nia scream like fiery fury type of scream. And the word is that she has a elbow injury that she'll need surgery. So I guess this is how they write her off. But the real Shayna Baszler showed up once again, and hopefully going forward they can book her like the beast that she should be. And maybe hopefully when Asuka returns from injury, we can have full on Kana versus Shayna Baszler, like a legit match between these two at their best. It hasn't happened yet. That needs to happen. So I'll drink to that. Water. Let's not get it twisted. I don't drink. Okay. Had an interesting tag team match. Mansoor and Mustafa Ali took on the newly formed real-life cousins of Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza. Kind of weird in how they inserted Angel Garza back into the picture by having him team up with his cousin, which is somebody that he's kind of had a rivalry before in the past. But this was weird. And it was a match that didn't last long either. Of course, Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza, which are they supposed to be heels now? I can't tell. And it's funny because Humberto Carrillo recently was getting destroyed by Karrion Kross and Sheamus. And now, bam, they just throw him in a tag team with Angel Garza. Like, what? I don't really get that. It's kind of a weird move, but wasn't a long match. They got the victory and just, yeah. I don't get that at all. We had Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley. They get their women's tag team title shot against Natalya and Tamina. Now, when they came out before this match and they did the segment, for Connor's Cure, dedicating the match to the children, I knew right then and there they were going to win. They were going to win. Right then and there, they were going to win. Another match didn't last long. ended up getting the victory. Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley are now your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And actually, this makes Nikki ASH a 3-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. Because remember, twice with Alexa Bliss and now with Rhea Ripley. So she's a 3-time tag team champ. And the funny thing about it is, it wasn't that long ago that Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH were Raw Women's Champion. It's so weird. And then just like that, they both have a title again. It's crazy. I got another one for you. If Eddie Guerrero was still alive, Chavo Guerrero versus Eddie. So the Guerreros, Eddie Guerrero and Chavo versus Humberto Carrillo, Angel Garza versus the Mysterio family, Ray and Dominic. Who you got? The Guerreros. Simple. The Guerreros. Not to mention, don't be surprised if they would lie, cheat, steal to get this victory. I wouldn't look it past them, but easy call for me. The Guerreros. Los Guerreros. We had Alexa's Playground, and of course she invited Charlotte Flair to the Playground, and I got to be honest, they were trying way too hard to be edgy with this, to compete with the edginess of Ruby Soho and Dr. Britt Baker DMD when they had their exchange of words a week before their match. WWE, they were trying way too hard with this Playground segment with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. And apparently word is that about 1,500 people at Raw, the Raw in Raleigh, North Carolina I was in, apparently left during that segment. That's what I've heard. And honestly, doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me one bit, but yikes. But, I mean, they exchanged words. It was back and forth. And then they finally came to blows. But honestly, it was uneventful. It was very uneventful. We had Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus, which I figured Jeff Hardy was going to get the home state win. Jeff Hardy, he's from Cameron, North Carolina. And sure enough, he was able to get the victory and defeated the Celtic Warrior Sheamus. Not only that, because of this victory, he has been inserted into a triple threat title match for the United States Championship. Him, Sheamus, Damian Priest. So, hey, winning the home state, you get a title shot. Because that doesn't happen. And then this was announced for she creepy to me. I'm talking about Alexa Bliss. Who do you think is creepier? Her or the undead bride, Sue Young, or Rosemary? Out of those three, Jaleel Brown, who do you think is creepier? Alexa Bliss, Sue Young, or Rosemary? Try that on for size. So they ended up, of course, after the demand from Lashley, Biggie, triple threat ended up being the main event. Roman Reigns versus Biggie versus Bobby Lashley. And once again, Big E on the losing side in this match. And I mean, he had the opportunity to seal the deal after hitting Roman Reigns with the big ending, but Bobby Lashley came in with the equalizer, hit him with the chair, which, of course, in a triple threat match, it's automatically no DQ by default. And then, even with the assault on Biggie, gave Roman Reigns enough time to recover, ended up hitting Lashley with the spear, got the 1, 2, 3. So Roman Reigns got both pins. First, it was in the 6-man tag, and then in the main event. SmackDown's Universal Champion just came into Raw and got 2 victories. I got 2 things out of this. One, they're keeping Roman Reigns as pretty much the main dude, the main face of the company. Or 2, this could be a preview of Survivor Series. Could be a preview of Survivor Series. Something you may expect. Jaleel Brown. Oh, you went with Alexa Bliss? Okay. Cool. Not a bad pick. But yeah, to be honest, being there live for this Raw, crowd wasn't that into it. Crowd was not that into it. And it was okay. It was an okay Raw. I also got a chance to see the last bit of Keith Lee's main event match, which they're now calling him Keith Bearcat Lee. Now, I did learn that this was supposedly paying tribute to the wrestler, I believe it was Bearcat Wright, from decades and decades ago. But that's nice and all. I get it, but Keith Bearcat Lee, did they really need to have that nickname? Limitless was perfect. That was him. And he's being booked as a heel, but Limitless was perfect. Just Keith Bearcat Lee, I just don't think that fits. But I get the reasoning behind it, but I'm just not a fan of it. I heard Willow going to return when Jeff Hardy retired. That would be interesting, but we'll have to see, because I know Matt Hardy wants to have one more tag team run in AEW with Jeff Hardy. So I'm hoping that'll happen before they're done, because both Jeff and Matt, they're getting up there in age, and Matt Hardy, he got a lot of kids. But I remember Matt Hardy wanting one more tag stint with his brother Jeff Hardy, but in AEW. So honestly, I hope that happens. As you can see, I'm a Hardy Boys fan, but I would like to see them team up one more time in AEW, help put over some of the other tag teams there, and maybe have a tag title run. Even if it's a small one in AEW, I would love to see that. He is going to be a heel. Well, that's the best way you got to book Willow as a heel. I mean, the extreme Willow of the Wisp, you got to book him as a heel. I highly agree. NXT. So NXT was very interesting. So started out with Tommaso Ciampa in the ring with a lot of the new superstars. He got on the mic, talked NXT 2.0, and then just a whole brawl happened. I mean, you saw Pete Dunne in there, you saw Ridge Holland, you saw a lot of people just brawling in that opening segment. I mean, which is cool, but it definitely gives more and more evidence that this NXT 2.0 is going to showcase a lot of the new development talent, which I get. I definitely get. We opened up with the NXT Cruiserweight title match. Kushida defending against Diamond Mines, Roddy versus the World, Roderick Strong. Oh, you were talking about Keith Lee? Yes. He's being booked as a heel. He's been doing matches on Main Event so far, but yeah, he's going to be a heel, which honestly I'm cool with, but I just don't agree with the whole Bearcat as his nickname. But I get why, but it just doesn't fit, if you ask me. So, Cruiserweight title match. I mean, it was good to see this, but I don't like how it ended. I mean, you got a great wrestler and Roderick Strong and Kushida. I really would have loved there to not have been any interference or any distractions in this match. When you have two greats like Kushida and Roderick Strong going at it, like, let them settle it. Let them settle it. But, you know, there were some distractions, and Roderick Strong was able to take advantage, hit the end of Heartache, and Roddy versus the World is your new NXT Cruiserweight champion, which Kushida didn't really have that much of a title run, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm glad that he did win it, but he didn't have that much of a title run. And then, of course, you had Grayson Waller come out and challenged Roderick Strong. So he wants a shot at the Cruiserweight title. Looks like he's going to get it next week. So got to keep an eye out for that. Had Kaylee Ray in action, went up against Amari Miller. It was good to see more of Kaylee Ray in action. And I believe there was a segment backstage after the opening segment where they were brawling in the back. And I think some of the other ladies as well were brawling in the back. So I guess this was just fuel for this match. But Kaylee Ray hit the KLR bomb, that gory bomb, to get the victory over Amari Miller. And then we had the debuting Dante Chen go up against Trey Baxter. Of course, Trey Baxter was in the Breakout Star tournament. And, of course, Trey Baxter, a.k.a. Blake Christian, who had competed on NJPW Strong. So it's good to see him get some more action. But he was kind of bringing the offense to Dante Chen and then got caught in what looks very similar to I forgot the name of the finisher that Roxy Laveau uses. I forgot the name of it, but what Dante Chen did was very similar to her finisher that Roxy Laveau used to do back in Impact Wrestling. I just forgot the name of the finisher, but it was really cool, and he just busted it out and put an end to Trey Baxter and got the victory. But yeah, Dante Chen, who's from Singapore, got showcased in this match. You had Joe Gacy versus Cameron Grimes. You know, Joe Gacy did a promo emphasizing the squared circle, the ring being a safe space. And then he had a match with Cameron Grimes. Julia Brown says, you heard about that Karrion Kross is engaged with his wife. Yes, him and Scarlett Bordeaux are engaged. Yes, he popped the big question. She has accepted. My thing is, when the heck are we going to see her again? When are we going to see Scarlett again? We haven't seen her not one time since Karrion Kross made his first appearance on Monday Night Raw. When are we going to see her again? That Karrion Kross entrance is not the same without Scarlett. It's not the same. So I'm hoping she'll be able to join him soon and can be a part of those entrances and be by his side again, because just Karrion Kross without Scarlett and doing the entrances, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right. But yeah, Joe Gacy, Cameron Grimes, they had their match. It was actually a pretty decent match. But Cameron Grimes, another North Carolina native from Burlington, hit Joe Gacy with the cave-in, got the 1-2-3, and then afterwards, Joe Gacy wanted a handshake. Cameron Grimes wasn't feeling it. And then Joe Gacy went in and hugged Cameron Grimes, which, he wasn't feeling that either. But, I guess he was kind of creeped out about it. But, it was just a simple hug. But, yeah, had a big smile on his face. It was weird. But, yeah, Cameron Grimes over Joe Gacy. We also got to see Elektra Lopez in singles action as she went up against Anna Shear, which I believe is Tesha Price, that had been wrestling on AEW Dark a handful of times. So I guess, she didn't get signed, which, fair enough. But she had this match with Elektra Lopez, and of course, Elektra Lopez looked very dominant in this match and was able to get the victory. And then, of course, they had Hit Row come out. Of course, she had Legado de Fantasma in her corner. Then Hit Row came out. And while Hit Row was distracting Legado de Fantasma, B-Fab comes in, was able to brawl with Elektra Lopez for a bit until they got separated. So adding more fuel to the fire, and hopefully those two ladies will get their one-on-one match sooner than later. We had a random 2-on-1 handicap match as Odyssey Jones took on and defeated Kerry Millman and Darren Chiapetta. I don't even know if I said that correctly. But had a 2-for-1 special, hit a double splash, and got the victory that way. Exactly, right. Maybe on the draft. That's another thing that's going to be interesting, how the draft is going to go, especially, last pay-per-view that's going to happen before the draft is Extreme Rules. And, the next big one afterwards is Survivor Series, which is in November. I'm not sure off the top of my head the pay-per-view for October. I'm not sure off the top of my head. And I know they got Crown Jewel coming up, where it's supposed to be Brock versus Roman Reigns. That is, if Roman Reigns is still champion after Extreme Rules. Let's see. You had Toxic Attraction come in. They did a promo together. Of course, this is Mandy Rose as a brunette now. Don't really like her new look. You had her, you had JC Jane, and you had Gigi Dolan. And they are challenging Zoe Stark and Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. So looks like we know what the next defense of those titles will be. And so far, Io and Zoe have only defended those titles once. Of course, that was against Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter. But they seem to be on the same page for now. And in the main event, we saw Tommaso Ciampa and Braun Breaker going up against Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland. And this was definitely back and forth, hard-hitting main event between these two teams. And it even saw Kyle O'Reilly get involved, hit Ridge Holland with the Billy Club, the little nightstick, and was able to open up the opportunity for Braun Breaker to hit the Gorilla Press Slam, or the Gorilla Press Body Slam. And then, of course, Tommaso Ciampa hit the Willow's Bell, and they were able to get the victory. Tommaso Ciampa, NXT champion, and Braun Breaker get the victory over Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland. And the word is that Pete Dunne has signed another 3-year contract to stay with the WWE. So it'll be interesting to see if eventually down the road, maybe Pete Dunne dethrones Tommaso Ciampa, or he may even get called up to the main roster. That's a possibility as well. Pete Dunne has been part of NXT and NXT UK for a good long while. So with the draft coming up, have to see what happens. Might get called up. So that was, and there was a segment. There was a moment at the end of that match. Braun Breaker eyeing that NXT championship. So I expect to see him and Tommaso Ciampa go at it eventually. Probably not anytime soon, but eventually. Okay, NXT UK. So this was a very surprising episode. Very surprising episode. You had the other semifinal match of the Heritage Cup #1 Contender Tournament, and Wolfgang. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to go ahead and say this. I know he's part of Gallus, but this was an upset. This was an upset victory over Tillman. Because, Tillman's still fairly new. There's been a lot of build-up for Tillman. And it's crazy because this is actually Tillman's first loss since his debut. It's his first loss, and he loses 2-1 to Wolfgang. I was really shocked. I was very shocked. Do you like this draft? Because I don't like it. And I like the draft in 2009, and they need to bring back ECW. My thing with that, the draft can be good or bad. I think it just depends on the situation. I think it really depends on the situation. And who is it going to benefit more? Because really the draft can be hit or miss. Can be hit or miss. So I have mixed feelings about the draft in general. It really depends on the situation. That's what it really depends on. So, I mean, I'm curious. I'm curious about this one. I'm not going to get my hopes up, but I'm curious. I'm very curious. But yeah. So, the finals of the Heritage Cup #1 Contender Tournament is set. It will be Noam Dar versus Wolfgang. And to be honest with you, I think it's going to be Noam Dar. I think it's going to be Noam Dar that's going to win this tournament and get his shot at the Heritage Cup, currently held by Tyler Bate. We had a match with Jenny versus Isla Dawn. Of course, this happened after Jenny found Isla Dawn in her dressing room, which is kind of weird because this is another heel versus heel match. And it was actually pretty decent back and forth. But, of course, with the distraction from Joseph Connors, allowed Jenny to get the turnbuckle avalanche face buster, and the 1-2-3 Jenny, the fashionista, victorious. And then we had the NXT United Kingdom Championship #1 Contender triple threat match. And this was a banger with a surprise finish. I did not expect it to go down like this. It was Nathan Frazier versus A-Kid versus Rampage Brown. And I tell you, all three of these men looked phenomenal in this match. What a main event. Nathan Frazier looked really great. And of course, Rampage Brown was coming off the 2-1 series victory over Joe Coffey. But A-Kid just has really brought his A game, especially after getting a big victory recently against Jordan Devlin. But A-Kid just caught fire and was able to win this match and become #1 contender to face Ilya Dragunov. This will be quite a first title defense for Ilya Dragunov. Ilya Dragunov defending against former Heritage Cup champion A-Kid. This is going to be very interesting. Of course, you know Ilya Dragunov defeated Walter to win that title. So, there is no telling. Like, this could potentially be a match of the year candidate. I know I'm building it up quite a bit, but A-Kid versus Ilya Dragunov should be an instant classic. It should be an instant classic. So I'm looking very forward to that. And of course, let's not forget Blair Davenport still taunting and threatening Sid Scala to reinstate her, or more and more people are going to get beat up and attacked and all of the above. I can't wait for the build-up to where she will face Meiko Satomura. That should be really good. I'm looking forward to that. Okay. And then we got Friday Night SmackDown. Now, of course, started off with Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair segment. Of course, these two exchange more words as they get more build-up to their title match at Extreme Rules. And then even this time, Bianca Belair offered the hand for the handshake. She got slapped for it. And then these two brawled. And while it looked like Becky was going to give Bianca Belair another manhandle slam, she got out of it and hit the KOD on Becky Lynch. So Bianca Belair stood tall at the end of that segment. All right, Jaleel Brown, I'll see you next time. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for spending time here, for checking me out live. Good to see you. Keep pounding. We had the Intercontinental Championship on the line as King Nakamura defended against Apollo Crews. And of course, Rick Boogs was the difference maker as he was able to take out Commander Aziz, and King Nakamura was able to get the roll-up twist pin on Apollo Crews. Would have loved to see him hit him with a Kinshasa, but that didn't happen. King Nakamura, still your Intercontinental Champion. But once again, Rick Boogs is the difference maker. And right now, remember, Rick Boogs is also undefeated so far. We had a match with Liv Morgan versus Zelina Vega. And of course, you know, Liv Morgan has a match at Extreme Rules with Carmella. And of course, Zelina Vega had a little bit of help as Carmella made her presence known, was able to distract Liv Morgan, and Zelina Vega was able to hit the code red and get her victory. I believe this is her first main roster victory. Yeah, I think this was Zelina Vega's first main roster victory. Like, just get me the updated for the Panthers game. Oh, yeah, sure thing. Sure thing. Will do. But, yeah, I believe this is Zelina Vega's first main roster victory. If I remember correctly. Either that or it's just been a long time. But, yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy. Because Zelina Vega is not a bad wrestler. I've never thought she was a bad wrestler. You know, I just don't think she gets showcased enough, especially in WWE. You know, she's great as a manager, as a valet, but I just don't think she gets showcased enough. And remember, dang on Malachi Black is her husband, and they spar and train together. Like, I just hope they give Zelina Vega more opportunities, because I still think she is a decent wrestler. I don't think she's terrible at all. So Happy Corbin now has a segment called Happy Talk, where he named himself as his first guest, which all he did was just talk about how he's rich, how he has all these suits, all this money, all these gifts, can eat all that at the fancy restaurants and such. But what was really interesting was, okay, Kevin Owens came down to the ring, was going to disrupt things, and then out of nowhere, a hooded man attacked Kevin Owens and took off his hood. I believe that was Riddick Moss that attacked him. Riddick Moss, who used to be teamed up with, I think, Tito Sabatelli, and also had wrestled a little bit, if I remember correctly, on AEW Dark. But yeah, that was Riddick Moss. I thought he was fired. But maybe I was wrong. I did not expect him to show up, and now he's siding with Happy Corbin, and they both joined in the beatdown on Kevin Owens, and they got the best of him. But wow, I did not expect that at all. Did not expect that. So, yeah. We had Nikki ASH, one half of the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, going up against Natalya. Of course, they were accompanied by their respective partners. And once again, Nikki ASH, Natalya on the losing end as she gets the roll-up reversal to get the victory. But hold up. After the match, Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Knox show up in Shotzi's tank. They fire the cannon, of course, at Rhea and Nikki. Remember, Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Knox never got their tag title shot. They never got their tag title shot. So they have been inserted back into the picture because they've had a couple of victories over Tamina and Natalya when they were the tag team champs. They never got their tag title shot. So hopefully that will happen. And then we had, Naomi came out and was dressed to compete. But of course, Sonya Deville came out, said nope, called security to have them escort her out. And even Naomi challenged Sonya Deville, which Sonya Deville even taunted Naomi by saying how she would beat her. Pretty much, if you ask me, two things are going to happen. Either one, Naomi joins the bloodline, or two, Sonya Deville is going to come out of retirement and face Naomi. Or not come out of retirement, but come out of, return to the ring to face Naomi. I think that's how she gets inserted back into the ring, is against Naomi. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. And then the main event ended up being Roman Reigns versus Montez Ford, one half of the Street Profits. Of course, this all came about when Montez Ford was talking junk to the Usos and Roman Reigns and, about wanting to become SmackDown Tag Champions again. And then, of course, that irritated Roman Reigns. And he's like, I want a match with Montez Ford. Go make it happen. Like, really? Is your ego that scarred from a little bit of smack talk? Okay. But it is what it is. Montez Ford gave it a good effort. He gave it a really good effort. And, a couple of friends and I were talking, and they asked a very interesting question. And the question was, if they were to ever split up the Street Profits, do you believe Montez Ford would ever become world champ? And my answer was simple. No. No, not on WWE. I find it hard to believe that Vince would ever put Montez forward, even in a title match, in a world title match. I mean, we barely were able to get Bobby Lashley and Kofi Kingston and Big E as WWE champions. So I highly doubt that Montez Ford will even ever get a world title shot. I highly doubt it. I mean, shoot, if Shelton Benjamin couldn't become world champion by now, I highly doubt that Montez Ford would. You know, nothing against him. I love Montez Ford. I love the Street Profits. I've met the Street Profits. But in WWE, you know, with Vince in control, just I don't think it's a good chance for Montez Ford. But anyway, he gave it a great effort in this match, but, you know, was not able to defeat Roman Reigns. He tapped out in the guillotine. And then, of course, Paul Heyman wanted to instigate more punishment as, you know, a message sent to Brock Lesnar. And Usos came down, and they were going to beat down Montez Ford. Then the lights go out, and then the Demon King, Finn Balor, shows up on top of the turnbuckle, does a dive crossbody onto the bloodline. And he was able to make a statement, took a chair, beat down Roman Reigns, and he was the last one standing strong. So the Demon closes out the show of SmackDown, standing tall over the bloodline. Okay, now for the last part of the show, gonna run down the card for Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules will be this Sunday, September 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time on Peacock. So out of this 6-match card, we only have one Extreme Rules match, which is the main event. That's it. Like, you could have at least had 2 or 3, but you only have one Extreme Rules match. One. Just one. On an Extreme Rules pay-per-view. That's why after this pay-per-view, they need to retire Extreme Rules. They need to go ahead and retire that pay-per-view. There's no point for this pay-per-view. If you're not going to have each of the matches, or at least more than half of the matches, as Extreme Rule matches, there's no point in having this pay-per-view. No point at all. I'm just keeping it real. Just keeping it real. Okay, let's go over this card. We got Liv Morgan versus Carmella. Liv Morgan. I think this is a great opportunity for Liv Morgan, and I hope she gets the victory and defeats Carmella. But something tells me Zelina Vega might get involved. I hope not, but still going to pick Liv Morgan to win this match. We got the SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line as the Usos defend against the Street Profits. The Usos will retain, most definitely. Although I'm really shocked that Angelo Dawkins didn't try to show up to save Montez Ford when he was getting beat down after his match with Roman. But Finn Balor, yeah. Oh, and also, since Jaleel Brown mentioned the Mysterios, looks like there's some dissension with the Mysterio family between Rey and Dominic, and Sami Zayn planted a seed. And like I said, I think it's only a matter of time before Dominic turns on his father. It's coming. It's coming. I doubt anything else. I think he's going to turn on his father. It's only a matter of time. Now, We got the triple threat match for the United States Championship. Damian Priest, the champion, defends against Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. I don't see Damian Priest losing, to be honest with you. I don't see Damian Priest losing. So I think he'll retain. SmackDown Women's title is on the line as the champion Becky Lynch defends against Bianca Belair. Becky Lynch just came back. This will only be her second match back. So I'm pretty sure they're going to have her retain. Sucks for Bianca Belair, especially after the quick squash that she suffered at SummerSlam. It's just a really bad position for her now that Becky Lynch is back. And it sucks. And I like both these ladies. I've met both of these ladies, but I feel for Bianca because I don't see her winning this match. With this being Becky Lynch's second match back since returning, I don't see her losing. I just really don't see her losing. I don't see her losing. And you have the Raw Women's Championship on the line as Charlotte Flair defends against Alexa Bliss, which I believe this is Charlotte's first defense since winning the title. It just really makes me wonder what kind of shenanigans and what kind of evil Alexa Bliss may throw in, or if she ends up getting beat legit. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, something tells me Charlotte Flair retains, but it wouldn't surprise me if Alexa Bliss won. I'm going to stay neutral on this one. But something tells me Charlotte will probably hang on. But actually, you know what? Yeah. I think Charlotte Flair retains. Now that I think about it, I think Charlotte Flair retains. And then you have the main event, the Extreme Rules match. Universal titles on the line. Roman Reigns defends against the Demon, Finn Balor. Now remember, this Universal Championship is a title that Finn Balor never lost. I am at a crossroads with this one. Because on one hand, I mean, with this being an Extreme Rules match, which means no disqualification. On one hand, I can see Finn Balor, the Demon, looking strong, regardless of the outcome, looking strong in this match. But at the same time, his first match back as the Demon and he loses, I just don't think that looks good. I don't think that looks good. For him to have his first match returning as the Demon and he loses, because you got to remember, the Demon, the only time that he's lost as the Demon was to Samoa Joe, and that was back on NXT. Other than that, he's never lost as the Demon. So it's like, and it's been forever since he's used that gimmick. So as much as I will be rooting for Finn Balor to win, and it wouldn't surprise me too much if he happened to pull off this victory, but I doubt it's going to happen. I think Roman Reigns, with this being Extreme Rules, is going to do enough to retain, even with the stipulation. Because like I said, I don't see Roman Reigns losing the belt this year. I don't. I think he'll hold it to at least potentially WrestleMania next year. but I do believe he will at least enter into 2022 as Universal Champion. So, but yeah, that is your Extreme Rules pay-per-view card. Kind of a weak card. I mean, yeah, I know we get the Demon Finn Balor. I know we get Becky Lynch. But it's still kind of a weak card. But we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. But that is pretty much it for this episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. Like I said, there's a lot to look forward to this weekend. More of the G1 Climax. We got the finals of the 5-Star Grand Prix. We got NJPW Strong Autumn Attack. And we have Extreme Rules. There's so much to look forward to. So much. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. But anyway, this concludes this episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. Thank y'all so much for watching. For those that chatted, Joshi God, Jaleel Brown, thank you so much for stopping by. This is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram of Blitzball Champ Gaming signing off. Hope everybody enjoys your weekend. Have a blessed weekend, and I will see y'all soon. Take care. Good night, everybody.